Oh my gosh, it popped up so fast. I can't hardly believe it. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? We're gonna make a box. Can you even imagine? We're making a box. Okay, now, before I get too far into this, I want to make sure I have a piece of paper here so I can write down, and I do, so I can write down measurements for you as we go along. This is our last session, girls. I don't know that I'm ready for it to be our last session. I've had such a great time. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Susan. We're making our box, and I'm going to write down some measurements, okay? So, box. And this is a keepsake box. It's something, my mom had 2 letter boxes. I got one, Patty got one, and they are so much fun. And she kept her stationery and her pen and envelopes and stamps. Hi, Lynn. Everything in her box. And I measured the one I have, and it is 9 inches by 6 inches. And so that's what we're going to make. But these instructions, you can build a box any size you want using the instructions I'm going to give you today. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side. I pulled out some papers. You can kind of get a clue as to what I'm doing here. I won't use anywhere near all of these papers, but we'll use some of them. And this is my poster board. It is 11 inches wide by 14 inches long. Okay, gonna get out my paper trimmer. If you want to follow along with me, I work upside down. I know I've told you this a number of times, but I don't. This is so easy, you guys. When you see how easy this is, you're gonna go, really? That's got a little bit of a letdown. I hope not, but you could say that. Okay, we're going to start with our first piece of poster board. And I'm going to cut 2 6-inch pieces. So there's one 6-inch piece. And here's my second 6-inch piece. And this is out of poster board. Could be a cracker box, but mine's poster board. Okay, my second piece, my second cut is 9. So I'm cutting this at 9 inches. Keep this little piece. Well, keep all of them, but we're gonna use a couple, okay? So I've got 2 pieces now cut 6 inches by 9 inches, okay? Super simple so far. I'm gonna get my second piece of poster board. And if you don't feel at any time it's thick enough, I'm gonna tell you, I'm using cardstock weight paper to cover this with, and it's going to be every bit as thick as chipboard when I'm done. Okay, let me set those 2 off to the side. So my next pieces are going to be 9 inches again when they're done, but I need 2 3-inch, and you can make this deeper if you want to. I'm doing mine 3-inch deep. If you want it deeper, cut to the size you want. And I'm just cutting 4 3-inch pieces out of this sheet of poster board. because those are going to be the sides of my box. So 2 have to be cut down to 6 inch, 3 inch by 6 inch. Those are just extra pieces, but they're the right size to make like a little postcard or something. So don't toss those away. You could use those. And you know, I'm such a saver that I save it all. So let me write down what we've got thus far. We have 2 6 inch by 9 inch poster board, and I'm putting PB here for poster board, not for Pat Brooks, it's for poster board. Then we have 2 3 inch by 9 inch poster boards, 2 3 inch by 6 inch poster board. Now let me cut those 9 inches down. Okay. To keep your measurements precise, girls, rather than pushing from the bottom up, that will push your paper off. Pull from the top down, and that keeps your paper from moving around so much. Now we need a couple of other pieces, and remember I told you not to throw these away. You will need 2 6 inch pieces and 2 9 inch pieces out of that. So there we go. You need 2 2-inch by 6 inch poster board and 2 2-inch by 9 inch poster board. That is going to be, those pieces are going to be for your lid, because we are doing a deep lid. If you want it more shallow, you can cut these down to 1 inch. Okay? But I want a deep lid on mine. All right, here we go. My poster board is all cut right here. That's all you need in poster board. Hi, Cindy. Let me put this here, and if you want to take a screenshot, those are your poster board measurements. And I'm going to leave it here for just a second while you take a screenshot. Okay, we're going to move on to our decorative paper. And this is a little different, okay? So, your lid, whatever paper you use for your lid, and I think I'm going to use that for my lid. And I'm picking out a couple of pieces to do it with, because I want the lid to be one piece. I'm going to do the top of my lid this. I'm going to do the sides with the little roses over here. Okay? So here we go. I'm cutting off the UPC code. That's always first. And since my top, my lid, the cover, top of my box is going to be finished 6x9, I want to cut this 8x11. So 8, and I'm going to hold on to this because this is cute. 8x11. And then let's do the sides with this. The sides of my lid are going to be this rose, which I really quite love. And I need 2 pieces because it's a 2-inch lid. Maybe I should cut it down to 1 inch. I don't know. Maybe I'm making it too wide. Let me think. Yeah, I am. I'm going to cut my lid size down to 1 inch. I think I was just being too overly ambitious. Now I have enough for 2 boxes with those, but I'm using them elsewhere, I think. So my lid is going to have a 1-inch lip instead of a 2-inch lip. And actually I know exactly where I'm going to use those. Okay. So, for my lid, I'm going to do 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 9 inches. 2 pieces. Now, I'm going to cut that down to 9. So I'm not making lots of little cuts. So cut that off. And I need 2 3-inch pieces. And I did that wrong, and I'm glad I have an extra piece of paper. I'm not going to cut that. Don't do what I did. Don't do what I did because I forgot I have to have a turn under. I may have to go find one more piece of this rose if I don't have it right close by. I know where it is at least. Okay, taking off the UPC code again. Here we go. I just got fouled up. I'm taking off 1 inch off of this. 1 inch. So I'm cutting it down to 11, not down to 9. Cut it down to 11. This is just the lid, just the lid. Turn it and you need, just cut it into 4 3-inch pieces. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so you're going to have 4 pieces here that are 11 by 3. Let me get my little piece of paper to... Where did I put it? Oh, right there. So, for your lid, and this is your decorator paper, so you need 1 piece that is 8 inches by 11. Then you need 2 pieces that are 11 by 3. And you need 2 pieces that will be 8 by 3. That's the beginning. And these are all designer paper. Okay. So that's for our lid. There will be other papers we're going to need for our lid, but we're starting right here, okay? Because we're going to have to cover the inside too. Now for the box itself, I'm going to grab my paper. And I'm a plaid girl. Many of you know that, so I've chosen this plaid. Okay. Boy, I almost did that wrong. So for the bottom of my box, for the base of my box, I need 1 piece that is 11 by 8. So right here at 8. And cut it down to 11. That's the base. This is going to be one of the sides, and it's a little narrower than I would use normally, but I think it'll be fine. But it's a great scrap, and I don't want to not use it, so I'm cutting that down. It's 4 inches by 11. And I think it is going to be just fine. Then I'm taking my other piece right here, and I'm going to go with my other measurement. I'm going to go with 5 inches by 11. And this I'm going to cut because I've got 7 inches left here. And I'm going to cut that 7 by 8 or 7 by 5. Excuse me, 7 by 5. And listen, I'm adjusting so that I don't have a lot of waste. And I hope you'll adjust yours so you don't. They're not, Cindy. These are, it's my very favorite Carta Bella paper in the whole wide world. I fell in love with this paper, I think 4 or 5 years ago. Probably 4 years ago. In fact, I can tell you when I fell in love with it because they always have a date. No, 3 years ago, 2020. It's called Farmhouse Market. You may still be able to find it. I would look for it. It's my favorite. It is by Carta Bella, and the whole collection, every paper. I bought 25 sheets of every paper, and I have used everything in it. Everything in it. I love this paper. So Farmhouse Market 2020, and it's by Carta Bella. Okay. Now, I am going to put my paper trimmer away for just a moment, and we're going to begin. And I'm going to begin with the base. I'm going to set my lid papers and chipboard stuff away. Need one of these. Okay. There we go. Putting together a box is so easy. It's like putting together a book. It really is. But if you haven't taken my book classes, you won't know the way I do it. So I want the plaid on the outside. I want this to be really straight so my plaid doesn't get at an angle. And the best way I know to do that is to measure. So I'm gonna flip this over for just a second. Plaids are tough. Plaids are tough, but I can see that my cutting is good, so my borders are all even. I am going to make, I'm giving myself an inch on the sides, a full inch on the sides, okay? So I'm gonna lay that right there and measure. I'm good, and I'm good. I only have a 1/2 inch at the ends, and that's okay too. That's gonna be just fine. You move this so I don't get you confused, okay? Now, everybody does this differently. I've watched people come up with the same results and they go around their elbows to get to their thumbs. I don't do that. I like to be a little more straightforward. So, if you have a bone folder or a stylus, either one is going to work for this. And I moved my stylus right here. Okay. And what you're going to do, take your stylus and you are going to just push down and score along the line of the poster board. Now you could do this in your paper trimmer, but it's going to be too snug because this is just going to be on the outside. Now score on these two edges. Just like that, okay? Now, I don't know that you can see. I'm gonna hold this up here and hope that you can kind of see the scoring. You can a little bit. You can see that I've scored it. I'm now going to take my scissors. I am going to just cut into the corner. And it's at an angle, so I'm just taking a wedge out. I'm not cutting straight across. I'm taking a little wedge out. And I'm going to do that at all 4 corners. And I really like taking a wedge out rather than taking and just cutting across, because you really do end up with a better result. I'm going to be using my Fabrifix to glue this box together. I just like the way it works the best. I keep mine upside down in a jar. Okay, I'm going to put Fabrifix on all 4 sides of this. And I'm laying it right inside those score lines. I love Fabrifix because it allows me a little wiggle time so that I can make sure I've got that on there right. One of the things I keep right by me while I'm doing this is a glue eraser, so that if I have oogie out, If something scoots out to the outside and I don't want it there, I can get rid of it. I also keep one of these things. I don't even know, scraper. Maybe it's called a scraper. And I can use that the same as I would use a bone folder, but it really keeps my glue smooth so I don't get lumpy glue. Yes, I'm doing this for each of the sides, but some fold differently. So that's what I want you to see, is that some are going to fold differently so we can put this together. This is all a matter of, you have to do it in a certain way to be able to put it together well. Okay, I'm going to take one long side and I'm gluing it to the poster board. The other long side will not get glued to the poster board. This edge will not get glued. Both of my ends on this one are going to get glued down. Got a little glue squirting out there. Not much, but a little bit. Can you see how well that corner comes to a point? That's because we only took a wedge out. I don't have any poster board showing there at all. And it comes to that point and it's going to be so, look how good that looks from this side. Just looks great. So on both of these 3" by 6" pieces, I want you to treat them exactly the same way. So there's one done, or almost done. Got to get my glue set. Now, are you keeping up with me? Are you working with me, or are you just watching? Because if you're working with me, so nicely set. Do have a little hangout there. I'm trimming. I didn't get quite to my corner. There we go. So that's one of my sides, and I want that end to be out. You can fold it, but don't glue it. You can fold it and crease it, but do not glue it, okay? Because this is where the base is going to attach. Now, if you're having problems with your glue holding it all, how do you know where to cut the wedges? Good question, Melinda, and I will show you on the next one. If you're having trouble, get some little clamps and you can clamp that and it'll dry. But do you see, we don't want to glue this because that's attaching to our base. That's attaching the sides to the base. Okay? Let's do the other little 6" piece. There's that. Where did I put my poster board? Is it underneath here? It sure is. Put that over there. I don't need it right now. Gonna lay it here. And again, I want to make sure that and I'm holding this up to the light and I can actually see that I am lining up my edge to the plaid. I don't think these plaids are going to match up, but they might. Nope, they're not. They're not. There's no way they will. I guess I could have been more careful about that, but no, I'm not doing that. Again, I'm scoring. And I really think the little stylus from the dollar store works as well as anything can. So one scored. There's number 2, number 3, there we go. Now I'm scored on all 4 sides. Okay? Super easy. If you take a pencil, and I don't do this anymore because I've done so many of these, I don't think I need to, but you can take your pencil and mark exactly where those corners are. That will help you to cut out the wedge. Okay, can you see where that pencil is? That marked my corner. Okay, I am just gonna go and cut just at an angle. See, if I cut straight across, I'm coming all the way over here. I don't want to do that. Then I'm coming here and I am cutting another little wedge and pulling it out. And you can see I don't have a straight triangular cut. And you'll do that for all 4 corners. You just don't need to cut so much away. I'm writing notes. Yes. Yes. Those are the measurements. And it's just that I didn't want to waste paper. I mean, normally I leave a 1-inch border on everything that I'm covering, but a 1/2 inch is actually sufficient for this. Now on this edge, I want that full inch because I'm going to have to really attach that to my base. And we are gluing it exactly the same way we glued the first one. So first things first, I'm going to glue the poster board down to the decorator paper. Then I'm going to fold down my top edge. And it doesn't matter. You can fold your sides in first and so fold your top down second. It doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's not going to show in the end. Just make sure you get enough pressure on there that you get your glue to hold well. There it goes. I mean, Fabrifix is like a glue gun in a bottle. It really is. It holds so beautifully. You do want to make sure you've creased all of your sides. And it only takes a minute. If you're anxious, like I said, put a clamp on it. I don't get all that anxious. There we go. Now I'm going to fold down my top. There's my top edge. Just like that. I'm going to turn up my bottom edge And I'm going to crease it, but I'm not gluing it. There you go. So now I've got my two ends ready. And again, like that's lifting just the littlest bit, and I don't want to spend a year holding on to it, so I'm going to throw a clamp on it. The little silver clamps I get at Target, they come with 50 in a box for I think $2.99, and these bigger clamps I get at the dollar store. Okay. Now, let's get our long sides. Where did I put my long sides? Hold on, girls. I've moved my long sides, and now I can't see where I moved them to. Oh. Well, if they had been a snake, they would have bit me. Okay, again. Now this time we have a full inch on each end, and that is for a purpose. Please know I don't do anything that I don't have a reason for doing, okay? I really want to be clear about that. I don't just do it for no reason to use extra paper. I have reasons behind everything. So we're going to just glue our poster board onto there we go. Got it glued down. Again, I really like these little scraper things, and they're from the dollar store too. And they work really well for just spreading your glue and getting it really adhered down. Then take your stylus, this piece is 5 inches wide by 11 inches long. And again, I'm going to cut some wedges. I'm watching pretty carefully for your questions, so if you have them, you know, kind of holler at me or whatever. But I am trying to watch for them. There we go. Just like that. Now, the only side we're gluing down is our top edge. The other 3 sides we're just going to crease, fold and crease. That's all we're doing. Just fold and crease all 4 sides, but only glue down the top edge. My granddaughter's here with me. Isabel, Do you want to message Gigi and Pops and see if they want to go to lunch with us? Huh? Okay. I'm so lucky to have her here today. She's only got 27 days until she gets married. Is that right, 27, honey? 27 days? So there you go. Only glue down that top edge. That will either be the front or the back. Now, let me just show you what's going to happen here. Because before we do our next piece, we can do this piece. These two pieces are going to snug up to each other. Just snug up. Then that's going to glue to that piece. Isn't it exciting? I'm going to have a Sadie married lady. We were looking at family pictures today. I'm telling you, my heart just is so, it's like an expandable folder. It's expanded way out. So see, I've got that. I have laid those side by side so they snug up to each other. Make sure your top edge is even. Clancy Furry, right there. She brought a mouse in today, that darn Clancy. Of course, we chased her out. She took the mouse with her. It was a great big mouse, too. It was almost as big as she was. Okay. Get your scraper and get that really adhered down there. Now you've got two sides to your box. Can you see how that's starting to come together? And now you see that I've got a method to my madness. So there we go. While we're at this, we'll just take this other one and add it on this end. And again, you make sure your top edges are even. Snug that right up there. Put your glue down. You do not want them to overlap, so make sure you haven't overlapped. Just like that. They're so easy. Do you see how easy this becomes? It's time consuming, that's for sure. It's time consuming, but it's easy. It's really easy. So now look, you can see, and I've got three sides to my box and they line up beautifully. He does love those Misas. My Clancy girl is such a nut. She is a nut. So even though my plaids don't line up on the sides, and they don't at all, it's not going to bother me even the littlest bit because I love it. Now, if you were to want to put something like a label holder or something on here, you can do that right now. You can do that right now. You could put a label holder right there, but do it before you go any further. I'm not doing that, but I know it would be darling on there. Okay, setting that aside, and I'm getting my next long piece. And I'm putting it together. Oh, this is that one I had to cut a little smaller. I remember. Because I didn't want to waste it. Because, you know, it's me. And that's kind of who I am. I'm going to hold this up to the light and make sure my plaid is nice and straight, which it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay, again with and remember on this one, all I'm going to fold down is this top edge. Okay? Just the top edge. I almost feel like I'm growing a beard. My hair is going crazy today. I'm going to just take my wedges out. And I'm leaving everything open except this piece. I'm still going to fold and crease all my edges, but the only one I'm leaving open is that one. Or the only one not the only one I'm leaving open, the only one I'm gluing down is my top edge. There we go. I had to plug my phone in. I was almost dead. Let me get the cord out of the way there. There we go. That's better. That's better. There we go. Now, all I'm going to do, and this piece just gets longer and longer. It's like a choo-choo train. It gets longer and longer and longer. I am only gluing down one side for right now because we need to cover our insides. Now, this is only if you want to, but I don't like seeing all this messy stuff. So I'm going to cover my inside. And we're going to cut that next. Okay, here we go. And I'm snuggling that right up there, making sure my top edge is even, folding it over. Ah, I moved. Come on, Michelle. Stop moving around. There we go. There we go. Whoa, that was a little intense for half a second there. And it was my own fault. So now I've got this extra long piece that will fold and create the sides of my box. Pretty cool, huh? And pretty easy so far. It's going to continue to be easy. Don't think it won't. Okay, I need to get the paper I'm using to cover the inside of my box. And this is another one of those papers, and I think it's adorable with the little baskets of flowers, and I think they'll be so cute. So cute on my inside. So I'm getting out my paper trimmer. just like that. And I need 2 pieces that are 3 by 11 and 2 pieces that are 6 by 11. And we're going to cut just a little shorter than that. I'll take you along on this journey with me. Going to set my walls over here. Okay. Now here we go. So I want to be careful that I cut this going the right direction. I am cutting at 2 7/8. Now, those of you who've done books with me before know that I am particular about this. I am going to 2 7/8, or you can go all the way to 2 15/16. That's where I am right now on my paper trimmer. 2 15/16, and I'm cutting. So you can either cut it by 8ths or go all the way to the 16th. And I need 2 of those. 2 15/16 or 2 7/8, and both will work. For the 11-inch width, putting out my ruler here, and I'm setting it at 10 15/16. You could do 10 15/16 or 10 7/8. So those are going to be my 2 interior long sides, okay? Then for my short interior long sides, I'm going to my either 2 7/8 or 2 15/16, whichever you prefer. And then each piece needs to be cut 5 7/8 or 5 15/16. And there is hardly any scrap left over. That's my scrap. Okay. Putting my paper trimmer away. And before we add our bottom, we are going to do our insides. So, gonna start right here. And can you see how really well that's gonna cover there? It's gonna cover it beautifully. I have a little teeny bit of a border, but not much. I could do black and white plaid, but I want the flower baskets. I think they're cute. And you're just going to center each of these pieces, just like that. Oh, I did that wrong. I'm so sorry. It's not 11, it's 9. So 8 and... just realize I did it wrong. I've got to recut my long sides because they're supposed to be 9, not 11. How did I do that? Well, I know how I did it. My brain was not firing. So your long sides are 8 15/16 or 8, look, or 8 7/8, whichever you prefer. Unbelievable. Okay. There we go. That fits much better than the other one did, honestly. Now, this one is my back. And I'm not putting the back down yet. And you're gonna see why, because we are hinging our lid and I want the hinge to be hidden behind here. So just set this one aside, just like that, and set your walls aside for a minute. Okay. Now we've got our 6 by 9 inch base. And we're gonna glue our poster board to the base. And it's exactly the same process. We're not changing a single thing. We are gonna wedge our corners. So we're going around it with our stylus. Now, if you can score on a glass mat, which is what I'm scoring against, you can score against a desk or anything else, but try to make sure you don't leave marks on your tables and stuff. I have done that, and it's kind of doesn't look as pretty as it could. There we go. Shall I show you the difference between wedging and just cutting straight across, or can you see the difference? Wedge. I still have lots of friends who just cut straight across. I just don't like it as well. I don't like my finished look as well. You guys are so quiet. I'm not seeing any comments, unless they're coming when I'm not looking. But I'm trying to look up quite a bit. It does make a big difference. And when you're making books, let me just tell you, that one little technique will make all the difference when you're making your own books and covering them. Okay, on this, we are going to glue all 4 sides down. So go ahead and crease all 4 sides, and then you're going to glue them down. Now that one, I didn't hardly wedge at all. I'm going to take just the teeniest bit more off of it. It's going to cramp that corner. And that's one thing you don't want to do, is cramp your corners. Here we go. One more, and then let's get the glue going. Now, if you put one short side down, you want to put the other short side down. Don't ask me why. I don't have a good reason, but it just somehow ends up looking better. If you're going to do a short side, do the other short side. I don't know the logic behind it. I don't know the mathematics behind it. I don't know anything except for that visually it does look better. And I think that's nutty potatoes, but it works every time. Now, I'm going to use this on the inside to cover this, but I don't put that down until after I have my base glued in place. So, in case you were curious, we're going to cut another piece for the inside. Okay, there we go. So let's get this cut right quickly before my finished measurements. What'd you say, Glenn? If I had a clear desk space, I'd be working along. You're sitting on the sofa making notes. You know what? These things, I don't have a big desk. My desk is only 33 inches and about 24 inches wide. That's all the space I use. So I have got stuff piled up on my trash can, on my little cart that sits next to it. I've got it piled up everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So we're going to go 5 7/8 or 5 15/16. That's up to you. Take that away. I've got 2 great big scraps here. They can go down there. And then we're going to go 9. Instead of going all the way to 9, we're going to go to 8 15/16 or 8 7/8. It's up to you how much reveal you want, okay? Now I want you to notice something. I have not inked a single edge on this. On boxes, I generally don't unless I'm using really, really vintagey papers. If I were using like a graphic 45 or a 7 Gypsies or something along that line, I would probably, I wonder if I can unplug this now. I think I can. I was afraid I'd run out of battery juice and I didn't want to do that. So I had it plugged in. Okay, but on other things, I don't generally, when I'm making boxes, I'm looking up at some of my boxes up there and I just don't. I don't ink the edges on them. Okay, we're gonna put this box together. And that means that I am going to go ahead and, oh, darn it. Don't think I left that open. I think I forgot. Okay, let me get my undo, which is my troubleshooter. Because I don't want this to show. There we go. Do y'all use undo to lift your glue? I do. And it's really good with Fabrifix. And it won't leave a mark on your paper. It's going to be fine. It'll just dry like it was never there. My father, he was still living when I first started doing this. And I bought undo and he said, "Why are you using lighter fluid? Because that's really what it smells like." I'm going to let that dry for just a second. We've got all of our pieces here, just like that. I am going to go ahead and bring this around, tuck it under, and glue it in place, and then glue this over the top, okay? Now it's going to be hard for you to see that, but just know I'm keeping everything nice and straight and neat like I've done all the way through. So here we go. trying to make sure you can see, but I don't know that you can. This is one time when you are going to hold that because you're not working the same way. You're working upright. And you're going to hold that until it's nice and set. You can clamp it at the top edge. So I can clamp it there, but I am one who I'm a fusser. So I want to make sure it's sealed and it's correct. Can you see I'm pushing out glue and wiping it away? Because I don't want little glue balls coming out at me here and there and everywhere. Once that's set, you can go back in and glue down that one edge. And that should be fairly easy. Can you see? Just glue it down. And I am going to reclamp that so that it holds. Now I want to make sure, and I hope you can see this. This is hard to see, I know. This is going to set on top. It's going to set on top of your base. Now, if you wanted to, you could do it just the other way and have your base come inside, turn it upside down and glue. And listen, that's up to you. But if you do that, for me, this is going to be on the underside, which is also okay because it's darker in color and any sloughing is going to get on that. It's up to you how you do it. But you want to hide all of this nonsense between the two layers of paper. So, I'm doing it my way. You choose how you're going to do it, okay? And again, if you're going to glue your two sides down first, get your long edges out of the way to do that. Okay, I'm lining everything up. And my head's going to be in the way, I think, unless I can mirror it and do it from what I see on the screen. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, come here. Glue along the edge. All the way out to the edge, girls. Don't like play around with it. Get it all the way out to the edge. Lay it down on your base and glue and just put some pressure on it. Now, you're doing so many things at once when you're doing this. You are making sure your base is on there and that your edges are even on the outside. But once you get the first two edges glued down, the rest is going to come easily. That's why I do my short sides first, because it just makes it a little easier for me. But this is your box, you do it your way. Okay. Gonna move my long pieces out of the way again. Lift this up. And I'm putting glue down on the base. The glue is going on the base. Oops, I've got a long edge in my way. There we go. I've got plenty of glue down. Gonna lay it down on top of my base. There we go. And I'm pushing down. Do I have everything out of the way? I do. Yay for me. Now when I turn it over, I've got a little glue outside the edges there, and I want to clean that up. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really, really good. So, come here. You're in the wrong spot. Now that I've got that nice and even, and in there correctly. And hopefully I've got it set so that it's holding well. I can go ahead and glue down my long edges. It does look really good. It's surprising, isn't it? It surprises me sometimes too. So I've got my glue on one long edge and I'm just gluing it. And again, I want to keep my sides straight. I don't want them to be bowed at all. Okay? Then I'm lifting up my other side. I'm going to get my glue down. Flip it over. And your sides should be just as straight as can be. And they are. Now, does that surprise you? Because the first few times I did this, I would get so excited because it surprised me that everything worked so well and so easily. And it really isn't hard. It really isn't. Go in, smooth off everything. Just smooth it all down. Okay? You've got that all in, and it's perfect, and it's a beautiful box. And even using poster board, which is not heavier than cardstock, it's not much heavier than cardstock. This is firm. This is nice weight. It's a nice weight box. Now all you have to do is take this piece and fit it inside and glue it down. That's the bottom half of our box. We're going to do the lid next. And I've got a couple of tricks to show you. I don't want you to have a box that isn't really well made. So there are a couple of tricks, okay? One of those tricks you can do right now, but it's only if you want to. To keep your lid from coming inside, where did I put those other two? You can cover four more little pieces of poster board and have it extend above that last long, yeah. Well, no, this doesn't go down yet. That's your hinge. That's your hinge. You can take these pieces. I might as well do it. I'm sitting here. I'm having a great time with you guys, so I'm going to quickly do this. And I've got scraps, which also makes me feel like I should do this. Okay. Remember, I had these leftover pieces. You're going to need two 6-inch by 1-inch pieces of poster board. So I'm cutting a 1-inch strip, and I'm cutting it into two 6-inch pieces. This is my designer paper. And I'm going to need one piece, just one, that is 1-inch by 9-inch. Now, this is up to you. It's going to be hinged. It's a hinged lid. I cannot do a lid that is not hinged for you. If you're going to do this, we're going to make it fab. Okay, so I am just taking this, and that's a little narrower than 1 inch, but it won't matter. Okay. I'm not wrapping this, I'm just covering it with a piece of pretty paper. Okay. And probably before I'm done here, I will have covered both sides because I don't want poster board showing on my box. This is going to glue here so that my lid comes over and comes over the top of this and it won't collapse down into the box. Does that make sense to you? You've seen boxes like this. I know you have. We've all seen boxes like this. And it is such a solution to making sure that everything comes together right. Oh, no wonder that was a little off. Don't even talk to me. I have got scripts and scraps going absolutely everywhere. Let's glue this in place because you want it on just 3 sides, the front and the two short sides are the only places because the back has the hinge. The back of the lid is hinged. Okay. I think I just gave myself a paper cut. A little one. Not enough. Not enough even to bleed, is it? But it stung a little. Clancy's probably not very happy with me. I put her outside, and she's staying outside as long as she's bringing mice in the house. Because I am not having that. I thought Isabel'd have a heart attack. Here comes Clancy with a mouse. I'm so used to it, I can pick him up and toss him out the door. But not everybody is used to Clancy's bad habits and her bad manners. Okay, where did I know I have more scraps from my poster board, but I don't know where I put them right off the top of my head. Or not poster board, for my paper. Pardon me. Well, I guess I'm going to just use the same paper on both sides. So I've got that and those 2 done. Let's quickly do the back side. And I'll just trim as I go, girls. Trim as I go. Glue. Making a box, you can make them much more simple, but I felt like if I was going to show you how to do this, I wanted to do it in such a way that that you could use this for making any number of boxes for books. They can hold your books, they can hold your artwork. One of my favorite things to see is when people put their artwork and photos in boxes. Because all of this paper is archivally safe, you could easily do a photo box like this. Just photos. You could put your cards in a box like this. I made a couple of years ago one just almost identical to this, but out of chipboard and much smaller dimensions, and I made a recipe box. But it was using all the same techniques that we're using here. Okay, I used score tape so that I wouldn't have to worry about glue oozing out on this little bit. Put it in place. You know, if I need to move the camera at all, you guys can tell me, okay? It won't hurt my feelings. There we go. So see, I've got my first ledge, and that will be covered up when I put down. Oh, I put it on the back. Darn it. Come on, Michelle. Quickly, quickly. I don't care if I have to replace the... Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, I made a mess. Let's see if I can just peel that off and try again. I think I can. We're going to pretend that I can, okay? Because I'm already like boring you to death, I'm sure. Okay, here we go. Let's try again. And let's put it in the right place on the box. Good thing I'm going to have a hinge to cover that up. Awesome. Okay, Michelle, let's try one more time. And I'm only letting that extend out about 1/4 of an inch. Can you see that? It's just about 1/4 of an inch above the edge. I'm going to go ahead and put these in, although they are not covered on the back side. And I cut those a teeny bit too long, just the littlest bit. So I'm going to cut about 1/16 of an inch off and put those in place, and I'll cover this back later. Now our lid is put together much the same, very much the same as our base has been put together. And you're going to find that the lid goes very quickly. Let me see. Oh, that is a bad spot. I love these little edges. I think they're so cute. They make me happy. You can do them so they're all in one piece if you want to. I don't ever see the need in going that far. But listen, this is your keepsake box. You do it how you want to do it. Isabel and I are going to my favorite Mexican place for lunch after I'm done here. So you have to know I'm not missing out on lunch. Eek, eek. There we go. And there we go. The other great thing about Isabel's wedding is that it's being held in Portland, which is Dennis's hometown, and I get to spend a little time with my sweet sister-in-law Brenda while I'm there, which I never, ever, ever get to do. So it's going to be quite the family weekend for me. I just can't wait. Tim and Marin are taking me. Do you notice what I did wrong? I put that in upside down. I don't think I'm going to worry about it, but if it comes down to it and I need to recover it, I will. Okay, let me get some of this stuff out of the way so we can work on our lid. Are you ready to work on our lid and put it all together? Because I think you're going to love it. I hope you're going to love it. Let me grab my lid pieces, which are right here, along with a couple of extras. And let's just start with the top. Let's just start with the top because we love pretty things, okay? And so here we go. We've already cut our paper. At least as I remember I cut it. And it is 8 by 11 to cover a 6 by 9 inch lid. I cut my paper wrong. That's never gonna work. That's not gonna work. Oh no. Oh no. Do I have an extra paper? I do. It's not exactly what I wanted to use, but I do have an extra paper because that's absolutely not gonna work. Eek. Look at the spider webs from that. Oh, I'm a little brokenhearted, but I guess we all make mistakes, don't we? Let me grab this. It's really pretty too, because I don't think I've got another barn piece. There's that. No. Yeah, it's... Oh, I know what I have. I do know what I have. Hold on 1 second. I have that little floral. I don't love it as well, but it's going to be fine. It will be fine. And then I will do something different. Oh, I just had a brainstorm. Okay, this is going to work perfectly. So I'm cutting this down. I'm cutting it to 8 inches by 11 inches. All right, let's try again, shall we? Goodness gracious. Lost my mind. Okay, here we go. We are going to get this piece of paper glued down. Okay, got my poster board on. Gonna just wedge out my corners. Gonna take my little stylus and I'm running it right along my edges. Did you see? I am now flustered ever so slightly, girls. I cut one of my wedges the wrong direction. Okay, here we go. We're gonna fold and crease. And yeah, I like my small ends better. There we go. Building these, the lid is the same. If you look at the lid of any box, it's exactly the same as the bottom of the box. So it's just repeating the same process again. So if you missed any of it, you're going to get it all over again while we do this lid. Okay. Now I'm going to glue. And glue. Now you don't have to use Fabrifix. You could use any good glue. You can use score tape to do this. You could use Bearly Art Glue or the Art Glitter glue. Either of those. Zip Dry would be good for this. I have heard of people doing it with glue guns. I would not ever do it with a glue gun because the glue doesn't go flat, and you can't really even take a scraper and make it as flat as I would like it. So here we go. Long edges, just like that. I'm looking at this, and these are all flowers you could do with your brush markers. Every single flower on here is something you could do with a brush marker. How fun is that? Look, you could do them all with your brush marker. Now remember, I really wanted this on here. I am going to be able to salvage it and use that as decorative piece on there. So that's going to happen in just a little bit. All right, now we're going to get our sides. There's my top. These are my sides. And they're only an inch wide. So I can tell you right now, I'm going to do some trimming on this, because I made it a full 3 inches wide, which normally would be perfect, and one will have to be, because this part will be my hinge. That's going to turn into a hinge. Okay, so let's do this one first. That is going to be our hinged piece. And I'm just putting my glue on my poster board to start. There we go. I don't want a lot of bulk, so sometimes you're going to find yourself trimming back. That's okay. As long as you know you've got plenty of paper for everything, it's okay to be able to trim. For instance, I'm just going to take just a titch off this edge here. Now I'm going to take my stylus, and again, you can try to do this without scoring this. I have not had much success with that. Scoring actually stretches your paper, and it keeps it from breaking. So I would always do that, but that's up to you. We're going to cut in on the top 2 corners, wedge out those top 2 corners, just like that. So I've got my 2 wedges, and I am going to wedge very, very small wedge, because I don't want to lose all of the width on this bottom edge where it's going to hinge. Okay? So just a very small wedge on the bottom is all you're going to want or need. Okay. It does take quite a bit of paper. If you didn't already, if that didn't scare you to death, we're in good shape. But it does take quite a bit. Small ends in first. When we attach this, we're going to use the short sides to attach to this, okay? Just be aware, there is a method to my madness. So short sides in, long edge down, okay? Or am I putting, no, I am not putting my long edge down. Just the short sides are going in. Don't glue that long edge. We have to attach it to our lid, okay? See, that's got to attach there. In fact, shall I show you to do it differently? I don't know that I want to. You can go ahead and attach that long edge now. I'll show you this, and that way you'll have two different ways you can do this. Okay. So snug it right up, make sure it's snugged up, and you want to make sure your edges are even. If you push out at all, it's going to throw this off. So get that, both edges even. Attach it down. I like to come this way and make sure I'm nice and even for my lid, because it's so important, especially if you're doing it this way, to make sure you don't have too much length on one side or the other. Okay. All right, so I've got my hinge in place. I need to get that folded and creased right now. Okay. We're to here. I can't believe it. Okay, got it. Now we're going to get our other pieces and get them covered. Again, with these, you're going to leave just one edge open to attach on your long one. This is on your long one. One edge open to attach to the lid. And the two short, on the short ones, you're going to leave the two short edges open as well. So much to teach, so little time to teach it in. Okay, here we go. This is going to glue down. And I'm going to have some trimming to do on this piece. I don't need it nearly as wide as I've got it. There we go. Now I'm not trimming these short ends at all, but I'm going to take a little off this long end. It's just a little wide for my taste. Let me grab some scissors here. Because I'm working with a plaid, a gingham, but it's still a plaid, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut, because I'm going to cut it fairly straight. Grabbing your stylus again. Do you see how important this tool is? How do people get by without a stylus? Well, if you have a bone folder, you could do it with a bone folder. I just think it's easier to do it with a stylus. And you get a little tighter snug up to the edge. Okay, remember we're leaving our two and 1. So we're only folding down one long edge when we fold this. Okay, here we go. Wedging out. Okay, gonna fold and crease all 4 edges. One of the things I've learned over the years, when I'm doing a long edge, I'll start in the middle and go both directions rather than try to go the whole length in one direction. And you will be surprised because your paper stretches when you are creasing. Come on. Thank you. I don't need you right now. Open those 2 up, and let's just fold in our 2 wings, our sides. Okay, now let me just show you. Again, 1 is going to attach to the lid, just like that. Oh, I folded these in. I was going to use the short one. Never mind. Fold the two short edges and glue them, and along one long edge and glue it. So glad I looked and didn't lead you astray. There we go. Come on. It's like it doesn't want to glue. And it could be the shiny side of the, I may have put the shiny side of the poster board up. I try not to do that because it does not glue as well as the matte side. Okay. We are going to line the inside. Hi, Pat. My sis is here for a half a second. We are going to line the inside of the lid also. So don't worry about any of this showing. It's not going to show. Okay. I am going to go ahead and glue this side of the lid down. This seems so different, doesn't it? But I wanted to show you everything, and I can't show you everything. But I want to. Okay. There we go. That lined up perfectly and so easily. Again, start from the middle and get that adhered down with that scraper, moving from the middle out. Love, 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 love. We are almost there. We are almost there. Except for we have to line the inside of our lid. Okay. Now I need my 2 short pieces. Flipping this over. And it's exactly the same thing, except that I have trimming to do, okay? And I didn't trim these beforehand. So glue on. Flip it over and set it in place. I am going to move that down because I want a little more room to adhere. Okay, now I'm going to just cut off that end, and I'm going to take a little off this end. Not a lot, just a little. Again with my stylus. Okay. And just fold and crease. All four sides, fold and crease. The first box I ever made, I made when I was a kid. And I believe I used poster board back then because we would never have had anything as fancy as what we have today. But I made a box, and it was to hold notes from my girlfriends. You know how you use, they don't do this anymore because they've got texting and everything. But we used to actually pass notes in school. Does anyone remember those days? Maybe not. Okay, all we're gluing down is this lip. Anyway, I covered it with the funny papers. I could have done gift wrap if I could have found it. I didn't even know where my mother kept the gift wrap back then. But I used the funny papers out of the Sunday newspaper. And I remember it as clearly as anything. I was so proud of that box. It didn't have a lid. It just had the four sides and a bottom. And I remember I had poster board, and I covered it like I was wrapping a present. It was a mess and a half, and I loved it. And I'm still proud of myself for trying that all these many years later. Okay, with these short sides, you're doing the same thing. You are lining them up so that they fit perfectly at the bottom of your box. So here we go. Fits just the way I want it to. Then you are going to lift and glue. So you're going to just bring this over and glue it. Bend and snap. Yeah, it's easier to remember that way, isn't it? Okay, so here I've got a little bit of glue right at the end. I'm lifting and I'm snapping it into place, and this is where I am going to use a clamp, and I am going to let that clamp hold that in place. Oh, I would keep every letter. I'll tell you, they are a treasure. And I got a box from Sandy Michaels the other day ago. She sent me a box, and it was precious. It's absolutely precious. And there were little notes and things going all the way through the whole box. And I got to tell you, it just was so priceless to me. So priceless that she went to all that trouble for me. Okay, hold on here. My little clamp doesn't have a widget. Even though I am clamping over my hinge, it's not going to hurt my hinge. But I am going to put a little clamp there to hold that for just a few minutes while that sets. Now can you see? Can you see my box is starting to take shape? I just have one more side to put in, and then we're going to attach it to the base and put in the last piece of decorator paper on this base, and then we're going to line the lid and clean it up a little bit. Okay, so I have this one last one. Oh my goodness, I've got scraps everywhere. Flip this over. Gonna glue. On your poster board, there's a shiny side and a matte side. To get it onto the paper, I would glue down the shiny side down. I think it works better overall because the glue will hold to the matte side better. And that's really, this is just to hold it in place. Just to hold it in place, nothing more. There's so many things once you get it done that you can do to decorate. If you're a really frilly girl, get out the lace, get out the ribbon, get out everything. If you're not so frilly, you know, you might just put some pictures on the outside. I think that would be fun. Just putting family pictures or your pictures or whatever pictures on the outside. There we go. Now, while we're waiting for this to set, I think we're going to cut out the pieces to line it with, if you don't mind, if that's not going to bug you. But it has to set for a minute. There we go. Okay, I think I've got too much width there. Let me take my big scissors again. Whoops, I didn't even go straight with that. I just lopped it off like I had no plan in my mind. There we go. Thank you. And I'm creasing my 4 sides. So it's this fold and crease is going to be really helpful to you as you go along and make anything else. Remember, it's not just enough to just fold it over. It's really important that you crease things so that you get a nice crisp edge. Okay. I'm going to release this, and I'm going to release that. It's set. And you're going to decide which way you want to do your boxes from now on. You've got 2 different ways to put them together. And both way works. Both of those ways work really well. So let's get some glue down. And let's attach this to our lid, just like that. And I can feel that I haven't overlapped it, but I'm going to double check. Looks really good. Looks really good. Putting some pressure on that. Then I'm going to do my corners. Just fold them in. I'm going to set them in place and I'm going to clamp. Fold it in, and even it will not hurt. It's not going to hurt this at all to clamp, and we'll come back and fold and glue that one last edge in place. Kind of got ahead of myself there. But there you can see you've got a lid. It's going to be so pretty when you get it on top of your box. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, I've got my paper here to line the inside of the box. And let me get my paper trimmer really quickly, and I'll give you the measurements, although I think you probably already know them. Just a little short of 6 inches by 9 inch for the inside of the lid. So just a wee bit smaller. Just a wee bit smaller. Anywhere from an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. Inside my lid. Then I need some pieces that are just short of 1 inch wide. And I'm going to cut 3. One-inch strips. And then cut them to fit. I know I was off the camera while I was cutting those, and I apologize for that. There we go. Ah. Okay, I'm going to take my clamps off. And I'm going to glue this little piece down, which I should have done earlier, but you know, I got kind of off of my track there. I'm so glad I went and bought new Fabrifix the other day ago, because this does take a bit of glue to do this. Okay. And I can even clamp that for right now. Now I'm going to line my box before I attach the hinge, because it's harder to do when it's attached to the big box. Okay, so let's just quickly line the box. And I'm going to start with this, make sure I don't have to trim anything. And I don't. That's going to be fine. So that's my inside of my lid. Should be using my jar. because I don't have much patience when it comes to letting glue flow. There we go. Drop that right in there. You can move it around a little so that it fits in there nicely. I'm just looking into the camera, looking at what's on the camera, and I can see that that's going to set there really well. So this is my first long edge. And you guys may be more precise with your glue, and I would applaud that. I get to this point and I get really anxious to see it all put together, and I don't want to mess around anymore. So I'm heading in the no mess around direction. Let's just get that down. There we go. That long edge is on. Let's get our short edges on. That buckled. Why did that buckle? I don't know. But it's fine now. Okay. So here's one short edge. There we go. Let's put the other short edge on. That's in place. Now, can't you just imagine putting a picture or two on the inside? You could cut mats, put pictures on the inside of your box. Wouldn't that be precious? That would be precious. Okay, now we need the last long edge in place. Now, if you don't like having your hinge attached the way I've done it, this is just the way I do it. You can do a hinge as a separate piece. And believe me, I've seen it done. It looks exactly like I've done it, but it's up to you. Not everybody likes to have it attached. There we go. Okay, our lid is lined. Our lid is pretty. And now we get to attach the hinge. This is going to be really hard for you to see because I am going to have to lay this almost back on itself, for lack of a better word. The glue goes on this side. It is going to glue in place, and it's a little hard to get your hands in even, but we're going to go for it. There we go. My glue's in place. My hinge is in place. I am closing the lid. Oh, come on. Close over. Close over. Ah, too far. There we go. There we go. There we go. Almost there. There. that hinge is in place. Okay. I'm gonna let it set here for a minute, because what's happening right now is that the glue, although I'm not putting much pressure on it, the glue is attaching right here. I'm gonna let it set for just a minute. While I do that, told you I was not happy that I didn't get my Barnes. So I'm gonna take this piece of paper and trim it down. And I know that it seems funny to use craft anything on this project, but so, and a quarter. Okay, almost time for me to open the box and really crush that down. Let me do that right now. Okay, I'm opening my box and I'm gonna come in with my fingers and I'm putting pressure right there, all along there. Now, my box is done. Completely done. Opens up, except that, remember, I haven't done that one piece. Where did I put it? Where did you put it, Michelle? Amongst all of your things, all of your scripts and scraps. Do you know what? I didn't cut it up to make these sides, did I? I did! I'm gonna have to get another piece. Luckily for me, I have another piece. Let me go grab it, because I want to finish it with you. I want to finish it with you. I cut it up. I can't believe that. Yes, I can. I am so lucky I have another piece of that. So lucky. And I'm even luckier still that I knew where it was. Okay. Setting my box aside, getting a piece of paper. You know, you're going to get so tired of me cutting big pieces of paper into little pieces of paper. Here we go. So I need a shade under 3 inches. And a shade under 9 inches. I have scraps absolutely everywhere. You guys, what a big old mess. Oh, but that fits so perfectly there. And it looks so good. Okay, here we go. Here we go, here we go. I'm just gonna put it in there and glue it down, because it looks so nice. Make sure it's right side up, Michelle. And there we are. See, I've just slipped it in right there, and so my sides are covered. I still have to cover these, not this one, but these 2 little sides. Oh my gosh. You guys, I am so happy with my box. I am so happy. Now this piece is gonna go right here, and I am going to recut my Barnes to fit there. So do you mind if I just finish this while we're here together? Okay, I am gonna finish it while we're here together. Okay, okay. Here we go. So this is 8 inches wide by 5 inches. Should be perfect. And that's going to mat perfectly on there. This is the one time today I have wanted to ink my edge, and I'm going to do that. Girls, thank you for being with me over the course of this class. I know a lot of girls are going to be doing this on their own time, and I think that's great. This paper pack is called Farmhouse Market. It's by Carta Bella, and it was produced in 2020. But I'll bet you can still find it somewhere. I don't know who carries Carta Bella online. Love that. Gives it just the teeniest bit of a frame. I would start with scrapbook.com and Carta Bella itself. Echo Park Carta Bella themselves every year have a warehouse sale. If you want to send an email to them, I'm sure they can let you know if they have any that they are willing to get rid of. This is my favorite. I have loved this paper. The minute it came out, I bought it. I bought a pack of 25 sheets of everything. And I have loved it, and I have a little bit left. And every time I use it, I think, okay, this could be the last time. This could be the last time, but eventually it will be the last time I use it. Okay. Make sure I get it on front forward, huh? Oh, I think that's so pretty. I do think it needs something across the middle, maybe a bow. Maybe I'll wait and put this down and I'll tie a bow across the middle. I've got some pink ribbon, I'm sure, somewhere. It'd be beautiful. But I love it. I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. I am so happy, gals. Thank you for being with me. Now, get your envelopes, get your writing paper, even get some pins. Put them in your box. This is your keepsake box. Keep your letters that you receive in here as well. I think there's all kinds of stuff you can use this for, but I love this size. I had not done this 6x9 before. My gosh, I love that size. Thank you, girls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am going to do a little teeny class. I put it together, part of it last night. I'll get the rest of it put together. It's going to be like maybe a $20 class for just before I leave to go to Isabel's wedding. So it'll be somewhere between the 7th and the 14th. And it's going to be a fun class. It's just going to be small. Won't be nearly as big as this. And so I'm keeping the prices down on those things. Love you so much. Thank you for being a part of this week. Now go and enjoy. Now I'm going to have to use pink on my letterhead and sage green. Ooh, I have a really great Tombow over here. I do. I have a perfect Tombow sage green. Okay, you guys. I love you. Thank you for being with me. And I'll see you Monday on Girlfriends Make Art. Okay? Bye.